guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. We're going to be doing a splurge or save video. Now, I didn't even count how many I have. Let me count. I have 11 different products in front of me where I have a expensive option and then a less affordable, I don't want to call it a dupe, but a product that is similar enough that I feel like you could, you know, like maybe save some money and go with the save option. But there are some that I would recommend splurging on. So I'm really excited for this one. I have been working on this list for a couple of months now, and I finally feel like I have enough products to make a video out of it. So if you guys are interested in seeing the products that I think, what am I even trying to say? So if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts on some products and whether or not I would splurge on the more expensive option or save your money and buy the less expensive alternative, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love if you would consider subscribing before moving on. We love palette content, project panning, and just chit-chatting about makeup on this channel. So if you like any of those things, I would love if you would subscribe. And other than that, let's just get into the video. Okay, this is my second video I'm filming today. I filmed my roulette pan collab. So I'm still sipping the same thing. Sorry to repeat. I did change up the hair in the shirt. But in case you're wondering, today's drink of choice is an iced coffee with 3 gingerbread swirl pumps and 2 creams from Dunkin' Donuts. I actually would have preferred 1 cream, but... And just like that, she gone. Alright guys, like I said in the introduction, these aren't necessarily like dupes where it's like almost the exact same product, but you'll get my drift as we start to go along. So up first, I have the e.l.f. I almost said e.l.f. Urban Decay All-Nighter. Okay. Up first, we have the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist versus the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. So both of these are supposed to help with the wear time of your makeup. They're supposed to help with longevity. They're supposed to make your makeup last longer. The e.l.f. retails for $10 and the Urban Decay retails for $33. So there is quite a difference in price. Now I will say with the Urban Decay, you are getting 4 fluid ounces, whereas the e.l.f. you're getting 2.7, but still this one is far more expensive, even like when you're considering price per ounce. Splurge or save? I'm going splurge on this one. With the e.l.f., I just feel like it didn't make as much of a difference as the Urban Decay in terms of how long my makeup lasted, and even more so the spray. Follow along with me here. So the spray on this one, right away with this one, my squirter, I'm so immature. My squirty thing on this, my squirter stopped working. So what did I do? I finished up my Urban Decay All-Nighter spray and then I poured this into my Urban Decay bottle. I thought I was genius. When I used this product in this bottle, even with this sprayer, the mist just came out really weird. Even when I shook it up, like it just came out almost like chunky water. That's not like the correct terminology. I don't have a thesaurus in front of me, unfortunately. Thank goodness. So I actually majored in journalism. I went to a journalism school. Thank goodness. That is not what I ended up doing with my life, because clearly I can't put words together. There's something weird about the actual liquid of this product that makes it not come out in a nice stream. Therefore, I would get like weird dots on my face sometimes where you could tell where the setting spray hit my face. So for that reason, I would just recommend spending the extra cash money and getting the Urban Decay All-Nighter. I think I'm gonna buy the Big Daddy. They sell this in a larger size. I forget the price on it, but it's a better bang for your buck. And in terms of this competition, we're gonna go splurge on this one. Next up, I have another e.l.f. product. So in one corner, I wonder if I could find like boxing background noise. Like, do you guys know, like, does anyone else watch UFC fighting? I love me a good UFC fight. But I wonder if I can find, like, in this corner we have, probably be too lazy to do that in my editing, but I have the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, and I wanted to pair this one against the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I don't currently have the MAC Painterly Paint Pot in my collection, but when I started using this, I felt like the two were somewhat similar. And in terms of splurge or save on this one, I have got to go with splurge on this as well. The e.l.f. is fine. Like, you can make it work, but it is pretty dry. Even like the second or third time I used this, I had to warm it up with my finger quite significantly before I started to put it on my eye. Sometimes it could drag across my eye and I would get a little bit of tugging, whereas the MAC Painterly Paint Pot is definitely a lot creamier, a lot easier to use. My MAC Painterly Paint Pot lasted me like probably a good 2.5 to 3 years, and it didn't dry up on me or anything like that. I want to say the Painterly Paint Pot might be like $26, and I think this was like $3 or $4. So clearly there's a significant price difference. Both, I'm sure, will last you a really long amount of time. I can't speak to the e.l.f. one because obviously I still have a lot of this left. This has only been in my collection a few months, and I actually prefer other eye primers to this one, so I haven't been reaching for this one as much. The two are similar. I mean, if you really are like balling on a budget and you need something that's similar to the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, you definitely could go for this. Just know that it is a lot drier of a formula and you're gonna have to warm it up quite a bit on your finger before using it. So in my opinion on this one, I definitely would splurge for the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, but this is an alternative. Next up, I have a skincare pairing. So first, in the expensive corner, I have the Drunk Elephant TLC Sakari Baby Facial. I just have mine in the travel size. This is the second travel size I have owned, and this is a really nice AHA and BHA mask. It does a really nice job of like chemically removing your dead skin cells, etc. And I've really enjoyed this mask. But the full size of this is going to run you a whopping $80, which is really expensive. So obviously, naturally, I would love to find a less expensive alternative to an AHA and BHA mask. And in this corner, we have the Vampire Mask from The Ordinary. This is the Ordinary AHA and BHA Peeling Solution. So the Drunk Elephant one is 25% AHA, 2% BHA, and the Ordinary is 30% AHA, 2% BHA. For this one, I have got to go with save your dollars, save them, and go with the Ordinary. This, I honestly like so much more than the Drunk Elephant. The Drunk Elephant is fine, but I don't know why you would pay, no idea why anyone would pay the $80 for the full size of this, when the Ordinary one, I want to say, is $8. Now, I will say with both of these, you definitely have to be careful with how long you are leaving it on your face. You have to be very cognizant. Both of them, I get tingling right away, and I will only leave these on my face for anywhere between like 7 to 10 minutes at the very max, and usually I will only use these once a week. Occasionally, if I'm feeling like a little bit daring, I will use one 2 times in a week. I would never use these like back to back either, because they're basically the same thing. You can burn your skin, so you have to be careful. But absolutely, if this is like a holy grail of yours and you haven't checked this out, I would highly recommend, because that would be like $70+ that you're saving, and think of all the other makeup or skincare you could buy with that money. Come on. All right, I have another one where I only have one of the products currently in my collection. I have 2 primer Splurge or Save competitors, if you will, in this video. So let's start with the one where I only have one of the products. So in this corner, in the less expensive corner, we have the Good Molecules silicone-free priming moisturizer, and in the more expensive corner, we have the Smashbox 24-hour, what is it? The Smashbox priming moisturizer. I don't think it's 24-hour. It's just the priming moisturizer. Both of these are really nice priming moisturizers. Both of them are like a white texture. And they honestly just feel like a really nice moisturizer, not even really with that much of a grip with either of them. I used to really like the Smashbox Priming Moisturizer, but it's $42 for the full size. The Good Molecules will run you a whopping $8. So in terms of Splurge or Save, I'm going with the Good Molecules one. I think for me and my primer preferences, I definitely like a primer that is going to offer me hydration, but also something on top of that. So in terms of both of these, I don't think I'll repurchase when I finish, just because I like to get my moisture out of my moisturizer, and then I'm usually looking for my primer to either fill my pores a little bit or offer me a little bit of a glow. You guys know I really like the First Aid Beauty primers in general, and I feel like all of those, like even the coconut smoothie priming moisturizer, that one is really hydrating, but it also offers just a little bit of a glow. Whereas these 2 that I have competing really are just going to offer you moisture, and I feel like you could probably just use your moisturizer rather than spending the money on either of these, even though this one is only $8. But if the Smashbox Priming Moisturizer is your holy grail primer, I highly recommend checking this one out from Good Molecules. I think they are so similar that this one will do you just as well, and again, it's only $8. All right, and then my second primer pairing is, speaking of First Aid Beauty, I have in the expensive corner the First Aid Beauty Pores Be Gone Matte Primer. I really like this one. This one is really unique because it is smoothing, but it also feels hydrating. A lot of times I feel like mattifying, not necessarily mattifying, but smoothing primers can just feel really drying to the skin. And I wouldn't say I have like ultra dry skin where I'm getting flakes all the time, but my skin definitely needs hydration, and I love that this offers that smoothing effect while still making my skin feel like it is hydrated. And in the less expensive corner, I have this one from The Ordinary. This is their High Adherence Silicone Primer. I purchased this because Kelly Gooch always talks about this primer, and I will say that both of these are very similar. The Ordinary one is going to cost you $5.90 or maybe $4.90. It's like $4 or $5. And then the First Aid Beauty one is going to cost you $28. In terms of the size, you're getting 1 fluid ounce here and you're getting 1.7 here. This one's still obviously just about double the price if you think about cost per ounce. The Ordinary primer is again very smoothing and does still feel hydrating, so I do enjoy both of these. And honestly, I feel like you could definitely save your money and go with the Ordinary one, but I am just so in love and dedicated to my First Aid Beauty primers. For me, I would have to personally go with Splurge, and I will probably just continue to use and repurchase the Pores Be Gone Matte Primer from First Aid Beauty when I finish both of these. This isn't something that I wouldn't say I wouldn't repurchase, but there's something about the First Aid Beauty one that I just prefer a little bit more. For me, I think that the First Aid Beauty one just feels slightly more hydrating, and that's why I prefer it to the Ordinary one. Again, this is kind of just a personal preference. Like, I honestly feel like if, again, you're like balling on a budget and you're like, I just really need a nice smoothing primer that's going to be hydrating, this one is really good. I would recommend this one. I'm just so dedicated to my First Aid Beauty ones that for me, I would splurge on the First Aid Beauty. But both of these, really good. Highly recommend both. All right, this next one has gotten a lot of buzz this year, so I feel like when I show you the first of the two, you're gonna be like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about for the other one. The Maybelline Lifter Glosses. Everyone says these are a dupe for the, I almost said First Aid Beauty, for the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. And I absolutely love the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. So the first time I saw someone say that these were a dupe, I was in my car on my way to Target to get the Maybelline Lifter Glosses. I have 4 of these, but I just grabbed the 3 that are claimed, or to me seem to be shade dupes for the Fenty. So up first, I have the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Diamond Dust, and I have the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Pearl. And I will say these two, so I don't know how well you'll even be able to see. So the lower of the two is the Diamond Bomb, and then this one is the Lifter Gloss. The Lifter Gloss is just a little bit more clear and has a little bit less sparkle to it. The Lifter Gloss says that it has hyaluronic acid in it, and I will say when I first started using the Lifter Gloss, I wasn't that impressed. I used it like 2 or 3 times and I was like, I don't feel like this is for me. And then I brought it out to dinner one night with my husband this summer, and I was like die hard over it. I was like, okay, like I kept reapplying. I was like, I absolutely love this. Like, this is just my jam. Next up, I have Fenty Glow, the original. And then I have the shade 9 Topaz. I can't remember if it was Topaz or Amber that's supposed to be the dupe. But this one is really similar. This is Topaz on top and then Fenty Glow on the bottom. And as you can tell, the Fenty is just a little bit more opaque again when comparing these two. But on the lips, I feel like you really wouldn't be able to tell much of a difference. And then I also just wanted to show you guys Fussy and number 3 from the Maybelline Lifter line in the shade Moon. So we'll do Fenty on the bottom again. and then shade 3 Moon. So there they are, and these are super similar as well, as you can tell. I would say that the Fenty is maybe just a hair more pink, and the Lifter Gloss might have a little bit of like almost blue sparkle running through it, whereas the Fenty one really does not. This was a really tough one. When I first bought the Lifter Glosses, like I said, I was immediately like, okay, like I absolutely would splurge on the Fenty glosses. And for me, I honestly would say I can't decide. I would say it's a tie. Like, I'm going to continue to purchase my Fenty glosses because I absolutely love these. I love the Fenty Gloss Bomb. My favorite, I believe, is Sweet Mouth. That would be my favorite shade, but I just love the Gloss Bomb. I love the shades that they came out with. I love the Gloss Bomb. But I really do like the Lifter Gloss. So if you have not purchased the if you have not purchased the Gloss Bombs from Fenty and you're not like a dedicated fan, you're not like collecting them, I would just go with the Lifter Gloss. I would save your money. I would go with the Lifter Gloss. I actually am curious though, how much product you're getting. 0.18 ounces in the Lifter Gloss, and you are getting, I want to say 0.3. So actually, if you did these cost per ounce, 0.18 plus 0.18 is 0.36. If you're doing it cost per ounce, these are actually probably just about the same. You're getting almost double the product in the Fenty Gloss Bomb, and these run you $18 unless they've gone up to $19. I think it's $18 for these. Whoopsies. Maybe $20. I'm not sure. I'll have it somewhere. And then the Lifter Glosses, I believe I paid $9 for these, if I'm not mistaken. So actually they're about the same price. But you're obviously paying less upfront for the Lifter Glosses. Again, it's really a tie for me. I think both of these are great, and these truly are really close in shade. So if you have one, you probably don't need the other. I guess maybe I'll say that. Although I really like both formulas, so maybe you do need to try both. All right, you guys, next up I have 2 bronzers to pit against one another. And up first, I have the Marc Jacobs Tantastic. And no, I don't have the Physicians Formula in the other corner. I will say I have seen this on sale. Are they discontinuing this? Because I was a little bit confused by that. So this is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Omega Bronzer. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. Very popular bronzer. Very beautiful, very creamy, very buttery. There it is, swatched right there. What I love about this one is that it's creamy and easy to blend. It also builds really nicely. And it's a very neutral shade in my opinion. Not too warm, not too cool. That's what I absolutely love. In the other corner, I have the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed, which is the second shade. Again, really creamy formula, really nice. And again, not necessarily a shade for shade dupe, as you will see. In fact, the Milani one is even a little bit more cool toned. I personally prefer a bronzer that leans more neutral, cool-ish. Not too cool, obviously, because then it would be a contour. But I like a more neutral shade. Sometimes, I always go way too extra with my bronzer. I just can't help myself. I love bronzer. There's something about, like, I feel like I'm getting my morning arm workout in when I'm buffing in my bronzer, even though I don't always even do the best job of buffing in my bronzer. There's something about bronzer that I just love. And so when a bronzer is too warm, sometimes it looks like I possibly was snacking on like some Cheetos while I got ready and like the Cheeto crumbs got on my face. So I have to be very careful with warm bronzers. That's why I like a more neutral cool. So that's why I've really been enjoying the Milani. I also like a formula that is a little bit more buildable because again, I just like to keep dipping in and keep going on with that bronzer. So splurge or save. I'm not sure in terms of the amount of product you're getting, which one, let's see. I mean, you're getting 25 grams in this versus 9.5. So this is still cheaper, yes. Because I think this runs for maybe like $8 or $9, possibly $10. And this full price, $49.50. For me, I would go with the Milani. It's going to be a save your money on this one. Even though this is a cult classic and you are getting a really beautiful compact with a really nice mirror, I will say you are getting very nice things with this. I would say just save your money and go with the Milani. This one, my only gripe against this one is it is like pretty bulky packaging. but it's so creamy, so easy to work with, and again, not too warm, not too cool. Now again, I have the shade 2. I'm not sure how the other shades compare, but what's nice about the Milani as well is they do have other shades in their range, whereas they're, I mean, Marc Jacobs maybe has 1 or 2 other bronzer shades. This for sure has 3. There's Tan Trick for sure in the Marc Jacobs, but that might be it. So you're getting at least 1 more bronzer shade option with Milani. Still not great, but I would save your money on this, and I would go for the Milani Silky Matte if you're trying to decide. Next up, I have another e.l.f. product. So in the Save Your Dollars category, I have the e.l.f. Glitter, Liquid Glitters, and then obviously in the expensive category, I have the Stila Glitter and Glows. And I'm not even going to drone on. I would just save your dollars and go with the e.l.f. one. I will say with the e.l.f. glitters, you are having to build up a little bit, but these do build on each other pretty nicely. I don't have any issues with building up pigment. There is Mermaid Shimmy, and then I have Perlina in Stila. And for me, it's just that these products dry out so quickly. It's hard for me to justify spending the money, spending the $24 on the Stila. There's Perlina, which I absolutely love. This is the only exception I will ever make. I love Stila Perlina because it just is a shade that you can add on top of really any eye look just to make it pop, because it is more of like an iridescent kind of transformative shade. So this is the only exception I will make where I will purchase this one over something else, because I haven't found a less expensive alternative yet. But if you were just looking for a liquid glitter, I would definitely recommend saving your money and going with the e.l.f. because these dry out so quickly. It just, for me, unless you're using it every single day, it doesn't make sense to spend the money on the Stila. All right, next up, you guys know how much I love my lip oils. You guys know I have raved about the Kosas lip oils this year. These are really expensive though. These are they $27? It's either 27 or 28. So I have these in the expensive category, and then half the price of these, I have another lip product that I have raved and raved and raved about this year. These are the Tower 28 lip jellies. Now, these aren't necessarily considered lip oils. These are more of a lip gloss, whereas this is considered to be a lip oil. But if you had your eye on the Kosas, I honestly would recommend saving the $14 and buying the Tower 28 lip jellies. These still feel really comfortable on the lips. I feel like in terms of nourishing the lips, these two are gonna do about the same. I don't feel like the Kosas lip oils really do a lot in terms of like healing your lips. So I would save $14. I would go with the Tower 28. There are more shades to choose from in the Tower 28 lip jellies, and these are just so comfortable, not sticky at all, and these last longer than the lip oils do from Kosas. So I felt like in terms of shades, again, these aren't shade for shade dupes, but if you had your eye on Jaws from Kosas, I would recommend Spicy from Tower 28. If you had your eye on Dip from Kosas, I would recommend Cashew from Tower 28. And finally, if you had your eye on Malibu from Kosas, I would recommend Coconut from Tower 28. Now, I still do love my Kosas lip oils, and honestly, I could see myself still repurchasing them. But if again, you aren't like super diehard or dedicated to Kosas and you were interested in these, I would just save 14 bucks and go with the Tower 28. You could even get 2 Tower 28 shades for the price of a Kosas then. Next up, I have another lip pairing. And in the expensive corner, I have an OG. I have a MAC Bullet lipstick, and this is in the Cream Sheen formula, and I'm not doing shade for shade here. I'm just talking specifically on the formula. This is in the shade Speed Dial. And this is a really nice, comfortable formula. Honestly, the Cream Sheen I think would probably be my favorite formula from MAC. I'm not super into matte lipsticks. I just find them hard to work with at times and a little bit uncomfortable. But in the less expensive category, I have the Maybelline Shine lipsticks. This one is in the shade 75 Undressed Pink. My favorite Maybelline lipstick is in the shade Baddest Beige. Jaclyn Hill totally sold me on that, but thank goodness, because that is stunning. And this, again, is very similar to the MAC Cream Sheen. Here is the Maybelline, here's the MAC. Very similar to the MAC Cream Sheen in that it is super creamy. It offers a little bit of shine to the lips, but it does stay in place a decent amount of time. It's not something that's going to last you all day or last you through like a meal. It's not going to survive eating a burrito. Like, you will have to reapply, but it's still really comfortable formula. And honestly, if you're trying to decide between the two, I would go with the Maybelline. They have so many shade offerings and they're super comfortable. So I would just, I think these are not, these might be like $6 or $7. And MAC, I don't even know what MAC is up to now. 18, 19, 20. I'm sorry, I should have done my research, you guys. Regardless, these are at least half the price, if not less than the MAC. Highly recommend just going with the Maybelline. Alrighty, and then my 11th and final competitors. I've talked about these quite a bit, so you've already probably heard me talk about like the similarities between the two of these, but you guys know I've been a huge fan of the Rowan quads. I found these this year. We have the 1111 quad, and then we also have the 75 degrees quad. These are a really interesting and unique texture I absolutely love. So here is the Rowan 75 degrees. Here is this really creamy shade. They all have each one has a nice creamy shade in each. The texture in all of them is very interesting and unique. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I think the NYX Foil Play Cream Shadows are just as good, if not better. A little bit more intense for sure. There is the NYX and there is the Rowan. Now, I still really do love my Rowans, but honestly, you guys, I don't know how many total shades there are in the NYX cream shadows. These run $6. These are $42 if you get them full price. I would just go find, I truly would just go find a couple of the NYX Foil Play cream shadows and purchase these. Usually I am just reaching into this palette for a one shadow and done look, and that is exactly what I can get from the NYX Foil Play. I still will be interested in whatever Rowan does release because naturally I'm a makeup lover, a makeup collector. But if you have a more minimal collection and you're just looking for a really beautiful shadow similar to what you can get in the Rowan quads, I would save your money and just find a shade or two in the NYX Foil Play because these are beautiful. Here is the NYX Foil Play in the shade Beauty Buzz too. This is more of a champagne shade. This is so beautiful, like so freaking beautiful. Let me see if there's a shade similar to this in the Rowan 75. So we will compare it to this top shade right here. Yeah, honestly, like the NYX one swatches better even. That was a really bad swatch because I'm running out of finger and hand space, but like honestly, just go with the NYX. $6, 6 times 4, even if you got 4 of these, that would be $24 as opposed to $42, almost half the price. So just find yourself some NYX and you'll be good to go. Alright, you guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's splurge or save video. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this because I would love to do this one again. I honestly had so much fun creating this list and creating this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Also, would love to hear your guys' splurge or save or very similar products in the comments down below. Let's get a conversation going. Let's save each other some money potentially, or let us know what products are actually worth splurging on. Thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel. As you guys always do, I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video. Bye.